Hello, everybody! Live from the Xfinity Lounge, presented by Bet365 and Ashley. This is the PHLY Eagles postgame show. Bo Wulf, Super Bowl champion Vinny Curry, Jamie Lynch. We're going to hear from E.J. Smith live at SoFi Stadium, and Fran Duffy will join us to break down some of the action after a mind-boggling, brutal 22-19 loss in overtime, a game in which the defense was dominant, 7 sacks of Justin Herbert, and a game in which I think we can probably say that the conversation will turn from the coaching staff being in the crosshairs to the quarterback being in the crosshairs after Jalen Hurts had the worst performance he's had in a very long time, a career high, 5 turnovers, including 4 interceptions, and one that cost the Eagles the game at the end as it looked like they were driving down to score a game-winning touchdown in overtime. We will talk about it all. We will hear from you, the fans. Let us know what you think in the chat. Vinny Curry, let's do our takeaways. Your first thoughts.
Can't turn the ball over. Trying to open up the offense. Just can't turn the ball over. In disarray. The defense, they had one of the most outstanding games that we've seen all season. 7 sacks. Damn near was in the quarterback face every play. Tackle for loss. The defense looked all over the field. Just can't turn the ball over. This is Jamie.
I barely have a coherent thought after watching that. That was a miserable experience tonight. There was some positives, I suppose, in there. Saquon looked the best he's looked in a while. The defense and the pressure that they were causing was encouraging. Didn't hear Quignon's name all night until at best weak DPI comes up. There was positives in the game, but it's hard not to think about 5 turnovers. I mean, NFL history was made tonight when Jalen Hurts turned the ball over twice in one possession.
One play.
One play, yeah. Not even a possession. I don't understand what we just watched.
Jalen Hurts has more turnovers combined in the last 2 games than he had in the 21 games combined before that. So 7 turnovers the last 2 games. He is not seeing the field well right now.
No.
And he is not making good decisions. And that play at the end is inexcusable because you are in the red zone. It's first down from the 17-yard line. And you know that if you go in and score a touchdown, the game is over, you win. I'm sorry. You cannot make that throw. It's a really nice play by the Chargers. The guy comes off of the first read, gets a hand on it, and Tony Jefferson does an awesome job then pulling in the deflection and keeping his feet in bounds. It's an awesome play. And it comes after Jalen makes the best throw he made all night on the 3rd and long to Devontae Smith, right? It's felt like Jalen was maybe, rising to the moment there. But you cannot make that throw. It's crazy.
And listen, all our fans know I'm the biggest Jalen fan here.
Yes.
Damn! This is unexcusable. Listen, each week we go, oh, it's the corner there, oh, this, all that. But this was bad.
Yeah, it's and then unfortunately AJ doesn't come down with the best ball of the evening that he throws in the end zone there. It was just a comedy of errors. Nothing was going right. I think there was some coaching decisions towards the end of the game that made no sense, particularly running a screen play out of a timeout with 2:15 left, essentially giving the Chargers a free timeout.
The Eagles really bungled that chance to win the game at the end of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and we talked about it at halftime going into half.
Yeah.
I mean, they coach like cowards with the game on the line. And then to go for it in that situation there, when Saquon's been gutting them all night, just freaking run the ball.
And I didn't like in the overtime, the defense is right back on the field.
This is a tough decision. So the Eagles win the toss, and they get to decide whether they want the ball first or whether they want to kick. And generally speaking, the rule of thumb here is you want to kick because it means that you know what you need, whether you need a field goal or a touchdown, and it means you get 4 downs when you get the ball, right? And so this Eagles offense tonight sure could have used the 4 downs, and that makes sense. But I do think it's fair in the context of the game. The defense has been on the field a lot the last 2 weeks, and then in this game, they had just been on the field at the end of the half. You could make the case for getting the ball. Now the defense did its job. I think holding them to a field goal, they did their job.
Right.
I think it's probably the right decision from Nick, but it is you could go either way on that one.
It's just they look gassed. Listen, but
and it all would have worked out. Jordan Mailata does a great job. That's good coaching too.
No.
Jordan Mailata
that's the veteran
pulling
move right
in
there too. I love that.
Yeah, that's great. That's a huge play on 4th and 4. And they get the first down there, and then Jalen makes a couple nice plays to get them to the 17-yard line. But you cannot on first down from the 17. You cannot put the ball in harm's way there.
Right, and then it's like when you really think about the game. Instead of like super angry like we usually are, I think I'm just more disappointed.
Yeah,
well, yeah, because
it's
Vinny,
bewildering.
You said it you were like, if Jalen just goes down and score here.
Everything's
It's like a clean slate. Like he kind of washes this terrible game that he had away. Maybe a little bit of the locker room believes again. Maybe the positivity bunny is reborn and faith is new.
And you saw it on the throw he makes to AJ in the end zone, which is a beautiful throw, and AJ drops it. It's a tough catch, but AJ drops it. Yeah. They showed the replay, and like the exasperation on the face of Cam Jurgens and Saquon, who are both like. They look like it's Christmas. They oh my God, we got it, and then they're just like, back to we cannot get out of our own way.
Well, and the only touchdown that came tonight was off of a fake tush push variation. Great, I mean, it was a nice play.
And that was I'm going to say that was great coaching because it was the first play. It was the first play of the fourth quarter. They rush to the line. They go unbalanced line. So they've got Fred Johnson playing left tackle, and then Jordan Mailata on his other side. So they're catching the defense off guard. They do the pull around. Darius Cooper lays a great block, and Saquon's off to the races.
Yeah,
that's good coaching.
Yes, that is, and I'm not taking anything away from it. I'm just the passing game is just in complete disarray. Like when he does make great passes, they're dropped. It was twice tonight. His 2 best balls of the evening were drops, and then when he's forcing balls in, like it's just a complete mess, and they can't get anything going through the air. What do they have? Maybe 2 touchdowns in the last 3 games. Less,
something like that.
1 touchdown in 3 games. I mean, this passing offense is broken.
Well, AJ had 2 last week.
Did he have 2 last week? So 3 in 3 games, maybe?
Yeah.
Whatever.
So, big picture now. Eagles are at 8-5. They remain just a game and a half up on the Dallas Cowboys.
Oof.
That is all of a sudden not done and dusted yet. I think they can probably kiss the 1 seed goodbye now with the Rams and Seahawks, both 2 games ahead of them at 10-3. Packers 9-3-1. Chicago 9-4. So you're probably looking at, if you are able to hold on, most likely the 3 seed. Possible that Tampa or Carolina catches them and gets to the 4 seed. But they've got the Raiders at home next. I mean, I would like to say that's a win, but 3 losses in a row, like you cannot guarantee. I don't know. Then you've got Commanders at Buffalo. Commanders, it's not over.
94% is their chance to make the playoffs. So.
It's not over. It's lower than that. I know that it says 94%. I'm telling you, coming off of that loss,
I'm with you.
It is lower than that.
I mean, I think they're going to make the playoffs. It's just they're not going to go anywhere.
I see stranger things happen.
Yeah.
Stranger Things season 5.
Listen, let's give the defense its flowers.
They played great tonight.
Now that is a bad Chargers offensive line.
Sure.
And Justin Herbert's beat up, but I think you said, Jamie, at one point in this game it was the highest pressure rate in NFL history.
Yeah.
Is that right? Or at least dating back to when they had those stats?
That was into the fourth quarter at some point. I don't know if it finished there, but yeah, he was pressured pretty much more or less on every play.
I'm telling you, somebody was in his face every play.
Yeah, after basically the first drive of the game when the Chargers went down the field, after that, I mean, the defensive line dominated this game.
Not that I watch Chargers games in their entirety all that often. I've never seen Justin Herbert run so much in his life. If you're Harbaugh, you had to have a little bit of heart attack tonight.
Yeah.
Seeing him with his broken wrist take so many hits and being so active in the running game.
Right, and I think he came in as the second leading rusher, and I was just like watching. What did he have? Did he have over? I want to believe he had over 100 yards rushing tonight. That goes to show you how much he was getting after it.
All right, let's go to the Ace Hardware Home Services temperature check because I have an important question for you that the chat is already firing off about. Okay, and go to acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project. Jamie, I'm going to start with you, so Vinny, you're not on the spot first here. Would you consider Tanner McKee?
Do you want me to answer what I personally would do or what's realistic?
No, what you would do.
I don't think I would. But I'm sleeping on it. Because it magnifies a lot. If you do that decision, there's so many ripple effects of it that it's just not realistic. And I don't think that 3 games of bad football should necessarily dictate what we've seen from Jalen the last 2 or 3 years. I mean, this is a guy who got to a Super Bowl twice and played some of the best football we've ever seen from a quarterback. So there is sweat equity there with him that I can't just foolishly throw away because of a couple bad games. I would have loved to have not played him in the second half today and just said back spasm. But no, I would not make the move as much as I thought about it tonight.
Vinny?
Nah, I got to stick with one.
There in the world is no bigger Tanner McKee fan than me. Do I think that the Eagles potentially win the game today with Tanner McKee playing quarterback?
I think they absolutely
probably
do.
Just because he's probably not turning the ball over 5 times. But you cannot do that. Absolutely not. You do that and it is over with Jalen Hurts. You can't do that.
It's
you
done.
got to ride the wave. You got to give him a chance to pull out of it.
Yeah. And they should have freaking won the game anyway, even with 4 turnovers prior to that. What are you doing? Just run the ball. Just run it. You're at the 17-yard line. You have to be risk adverse there because the worst case, you can tie it and live to fight another day.
That'll do it for the Ace Hardware Home Services temperature check. Go to acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project. Okay, let's check in on the Super Chats because they're coming in hot and heavy here after a wild game for the Eagles. The OGJH says they won't even come close to sniffing Super Bowl this year. Certainly trending that way, but you never know.
It does kind of feel like there's not that many, like there's no good teams and everybody's just kind of like okay at best.
I think some teams are separating themselves. Rams, Seahawks.
Rams are pretty nasty.
I don't think. Yeah.
Seahawks, I'll talk to me when Darnold does it.
That's fair.
In the playoffs.
Fresh Prince with a generous super chat says that was the worst Hurts performance I've seen since he was pulled at halftime in college. We should have done the same thing tonight. If the drive ended with a touchdown, I would have felt much better. Now you throw it to Dotson. It's a good point because yes, that
I didn't even
interception he
process that.
threw on the 2 turnover play when the Deshaun hand is dropping into the middle of the field. Jahan Dotson is flashing wide open in the post for what would have been a touchdown. And yeah, you can't throw that ball. You just can't. Zane Petney, our friend from Northern Ireland, says, why Hurts didn't throw to Dallas instead of going to Dotson? McKee next week, please. Sirianni, KP, and Hurts can stay in L.A. Wow. All 3 of them. Now, to be fair, Zane, he says he's been drinking and it's like 5 a.m. So.
Yeah, well. And with how cold it was today in Philadelphia, staying in L.A. doesn't sound that bad right now.
That's true. Matt B. I used to hate Kevin Patullo. I still do, but I used to too.
Thanks for the laugh, Matt B.
Mitch Hedberg callback. Hessenon. They could have won in regulation if they just ran. And listen, you want to talk about how is this team different than teams in years past for the Eagles? No doubt about it. They get the ball in the 4th with, let's see, like 4 something left. And I said to you guys, I think they're playing for the field goal, right? Because that was what they did. Now, they did take the shot in the end zone, and AJ drops it. But being able to run the ball in that situation, like a 4-minute drill situation, and you can sort of set up a game-winning, clock-ending field goal, they couldn't run the ball in that situation. And I did think that the play calling there was not ideal, but what are you going to do?
What made it was funny the way you.
And then, as I said, on the little quick throw to Devontae, even if he catches that ball, you burn a timeout for the Chargers. They didn't handle any of that end game stuff well. Go ahead, Vinny.
Right, but at the same time, I thought the clock management. They said every time you looked up, it was going down to 3 seconds, 2 seconds.
Every time they're snapping the ball with 3 seconds left.
I mean, the professor's done the number, like the deep dive on the numbers, right?
Crazy.
It's like the worst rate in NFL history or something.
Crazy. Sense of urgency, none.
Yes.
But how is that like? They always talk about self-scouting and improvement, and we'll look at everything. That's like surface level, like a major problem. And it's just never been addressed in any way this season.
Yeah, we've been talking about that since like week 3.
Like
and
you've
so have the
wasted
Eagles.
several
So have
timeouts to save yourself.
Yeah. And I tell you what, I know everybody's saying, boy, it would have been great to have that Jake Elliott field goal at the end of the first half. And that's true. Obviously, you look at the score, and that would have made a difference in the game. You know, there's sliding doors. You can't guarantee that the game would have played out that way.
Sure.
But I put that missed field goal just as much on Nick as I do on Jake Elliott, because you had 10 seconds and 2 timeouts. Go get some yards and make the field goal easier.
Yeah.
And instead they call a play like they've got no timeouts and just throw it out of bounds. What are we doing? They continue to mess up the end of the first half.
Yeah, week in and week out. It seems like it's a weekly occurrence.
Super chat from Davella. I dislike all rabbits. Maybe this is what will finally get the Eagles to move on from A.J. Dillon.
Yeah. I mean, somebody's got to take a butcher knife to that rabbit, right?
Everything outside the Novacare complex, it's all
Everything's
everything is crashing down. But in here, we're having a good time. Everybody's good.
This week on HBO's Hard Knocks, Jordan Mailata kills an inflatable rabbit.
Ryan, QB outplayed by a guy with one arm, not afraid to run. I mean, Jalen did run. His biggest run, as you said, was called back. But
somebody in our Discord tonight said, can they really lose to a one-handed quarterback? And I was like, they could lose to a no-armed quarterback at this rate. Like,
and it's crazy because the way the defense is playing, take an L with a one hand.
And they had good energy too.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
It was. You felt them through the TV. Yes, the whole entire game. Damn.
So, Vinny, take us through a game like that where if you're on the defensive side of the ball, you feel like, man, we did everything we could do to win this game. That loss is on you guys. How do you avoid pointing those fingers and pointing them at somebody in particular?
We should have said we should have scored on defense.
But you don't actually mean that, right? You just
I mean, that's on the veterans to...
Think about it. You got 7 sacks. I mean, those were strips. Do they have an opportunity to pick up the strip? You know? So that way, there's no pointing no finger. You know what I mean? Even... It's like you start asking yourself, what more can we have done as a defensive unit to even help more?
But do you think everybody feels that way? There have to be guys in the room who are probably not so kind.
Yeah, this new era of players is a little different.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe, but I know our group wouldn't have been like that, the finger pointing thing.
Okay.
But some guys would have been pissed though.
I wouldn't be able to be so big if I was a teammate. I would be MFing this, MFing that. We gave that performance, and this is what you do.
I mean, it's been some games this season that the defense,
True.
Woo! We've been in here kind of pissed off, talking about,
true.
Different things. So that's why it's called the team sport.
I know.
What if
I'm emotionally
immature?
immature.
Cuffy looked like he was going to break one of them.
Yeah, Covey was all right tonight.
You know what I mean? He breaks one.
He did fumble the ball.
He got it back.
Like the most important job is to not fumble.
We had a Dallas Goedert game.
Yeah.
There's a positive.
Yeah, 78.
8 for 78.
Yep,
yeah.
There you go.
AJ 6 for 100.
Yeah, there was. Oh, God, I can't believe it. It's so weird because, I can't believe they were in the game for so long, and then they had it, and then I can't believe they lost it.
Right.
Like, it was such an emotional roller coaster game.
We
So
talk
messed
about
up.
we talk about this on the regular. You can't keep good teams around.
Yeah.
Can't keep them in the game. Can't keep them around.
Yeah. Man, 8-5, huh?
8-5.
8-5.
All right, let's take a quick break. Hear from some sponsors. On the other side, the great Fran Duffy joins us to break down what he saw from the Eagles in this game. Coming up next on the PHLY Eagles postgame show. Shop best sellers at Ashley, where no matter what your holiday traditions are, you're always at home. Whether you're making extra room with our extendable dining tables so your family can make something delicious together, like the crystalline extendable dining set, or create a cozy space by rearranging our modular seating like the Alyssa Court Performance Fabric Sectional. Year after year, for years to come, shop holiday deals and make lifelong memories with Ashley.
You can find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Over 90 million users worldwide. That many people can't be wrong. And you can find out why they pioneered live in-game betting. With football, you get Thursday night football, $10 safety net bets. Sunday night football, you can get a part of the $365,000 jackpot. And Monday night, the 50% profit boost. And you can find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. And breaking news. New customers get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use code PHLY365, deposit $10, and place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Those bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 and older and physically located in PA. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Shop best sellers at Ashley, where no matter what your holiday traditions are, you're always at home. Whether you're making extra room with our extendable dining tables so your family can make something delicious together, like with the crystalline extendable dining set, or creating a cozy space by rearranging our modular seating like the Alyssa Court Performance Fabric Sectional. Ashley's selection of adaptable furniture is here to help carry on your treasured traditions year after year and for years to come. Shop holiday deals and make lifelong memories with Ashley. Back in the PHLY Eagles postgame show. Before we go to Fran Duffy, let's first go to the Eagles locker room, where we hear from Saquon Barkley after the Eagles loss.
Kind of not getting out of your own way.
I mean, yeah, that one stunk. We know we gotta be better. We continue to beat ourselves. And, not doing the little things right, not focus on the details. But last year was last year, like we keep saying, and now we just gotta move on. We know this one's gonna sting. We got a short week. One of my favorite coaches used to always tell me, "So what, now what?" And I think that's the mentality we gotta take for this coming week. We lost this game. We know we can do better, but we move on and we get ready for the race.
All right, so there's the wisdom from Saquon. And now we bring in the wisdom of Fran Duffy for Fran's Film Room, presented by Ashley Furniture. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Duffy. Hi, Fran.
Hey, Fran, I feel like, man, every time we lose, it's like suck the energy out the room. Shit is a cold night.
Yeah, that was a tough one, guys. I mean, defensively, I loved a lot of what we saw. Honestly, this game went like thematically kind of how I expected coming in. I thought that this would be a relatively low-scoring game. I thought it would be a lot of field goals kicked in the game, and the Eagles. Look, their only real explosive play in the game. We'll look at it, but the only real explosive play in the game was essentially like a trick play. They ran a fake tush push on a toss play, but after that they were not able to sustain any kind of offense against a heavy zone, split safety, like the heavy disguise type of defense, and they just could not sustain anything through the air. I mean, through the ground. I mean, they were able to get things going a little bit, but yeah, that was a rough watch once again on offense.
Well, obviously, let's stick with the offense here, and we'll get to the Saquon play in a minute, Fran. But it did feel like there were a couple instances tonight where Jalen was able. They did the under center play action, and Jalen ripped a couple throws over the middle. That was there, but aside from that, really the only thing they did was try those balls to A.J. Brown down the left sideline, those go balls, and that probably speaks to what you're saying of they kind of are who we thought they were.
Yeah, it's like, not season on the line, but you get it. I mean, the ultimate vibes on the line, and it's like third down, like gotta have it. It's like go ball down the left sideline. It's like
a true Con Air make a move where the bunny gets it. Like you're gonna
the bunny.
The bunny's gonna,
and
get
that's
it
how they
right.
respond. They go ball to A.J. Brown.
Yeah, it's obviously look, they come out first play of the game, vertical throw to A.J. Brown. It's. I was interested to see like what some of the answers would be, after the extra time, the extra rest, reported changes potentially behind the scenes. Yeah, it was more the same from the side. I'm interested to see like, all right, go to the film and see some of the things that just didn't work out. But based off what we saw on TV, it was obviously it was not a great showing from this passing game.
Fran, I was telling them it's hard to believe Saquon over 100 yards, A.J. Brown over 100 yards, Dallas got it over 78 yards. It's just hard to believe that we lost this game.
And I'm sure that both Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts will point to the fact that it's the turnovers, and it'll be like, oh, you guys, this is why we put so much stress on turnovers. Yeah, a wise man does avoid all extremes. We can say that we can be, turn up the heat a little bit without throwing 4 picks, and find other sustainable ways of offense. And again, it's when you look at the way that they build things out in the pass game, there's not a wide margin for error. And so on this one, Jalen was on the wrong side of that for sure.
So do you? I mean, there were 4 interceptions that he threw in this game. Are you willing to take some culpability off him on any of them? I mean, the AJ one, AJ should catch that ball, even though it's a bit of a hospital ball.
That's the one. That would be the one.
Yeah,
that's it. The other ones were nonsensical. Like you didn't even see them.
I mean, the one that. To me, if you're going to point to the one that was targeted to Devontae Smith where he slipped on the play, going back, and again, we only got the one real replay angle of it. The ball was inside, so I think Devontae slipped as he was trying to react to the ball being thrown inside. But this is also like a concept that they run over and over and over and over again, a route that they run at a higher rate than anybody, as Daniz has pointed out, running one of these hitch routes against an off-zone coverage corner where he's just going to squat on it. Dante Jackson's a vet in this league. He's played for a handful of years, and he knows, all right, this is the route that they like to run, and if I'm playing from 8 yards depth, I'm going to trigger on this thing fast. And so he put himself in position to be able to make that play. The ball wasn't great. I would say that the play call, obviously the predictability of it added to it. But to me, the other interceptions were. That's tough to swallow if you're Jalen Hurts.
All right, well, let's get to the biggest play of the game, which was the final play of the game. What did you see? What do you think that Jalen saw? And can you defend the decision making at all?
Sully's like 7 foot tall. You can't throw in his direction, Fran.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, look, Cam Hart's not far away from that. He's got one of the largest wingspans, some of the longest arms of any corner drafted in the last decade. He's 33-inch long arms when he got drafted out of Notre Dame in 2024. So this is a guy that is a big, long corner. And when you have that kind of length and you play a lot of zone coverage, the idea of it is that you are going to shrink those windows down. And so here on this play, and Lindsay, let's just go to the first one. It's OT, INT, 1. What you're going to see on this play, and this is the thing that's just the kick in the gut about it, is that this is like their bread and butter. This has been one of their best plays. They hit Devontae Smith for 30 yards on this play last week. Now, this time you have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith to the left on the opposite side. They're blocking in case this ball is handed off. You have Dallas Goedert running the flat, and you have Jahan Dotson running essentially that corner route there at the top of the screen. Now, on this play, Jalen Hurts first is going to read the backside defensive end. He's going to read Khalil Mack, and he's going to decide, am I going to play the pass concept here and throw the two-man route at the top, or am I going to hand this ball off to Saquon Barkley? Now, pretty good double team at the point of attack. Unfortunately, there might have been some room there to operate if this ball was handed off. But let's go to the next shot, and you're going to see, all right, Jalen keeps it. So now essentially, and look, you run this concept knowing like, all right, this is a high volume cover 2 team. With cover 2, you're going to have a corner clouded there in the flat, and that's who it is. So you got that corner circled at the top. That's Cam Hart. Great length, ball skills. He's tough. He's pretty instinctive. Not the best man-to-man athlete, but if you're playing cover 2 zone, like this is a nice spot for him to be in. If you're the Chargers, and if you're Jalen, you're reading off of him. If he's playing a little bit heavy to the flat and taking away Goddard, then you should have a window over top to be able to hit Dotson. If he's playing this a little bit more conservatively and he's getting depth, well, then you should dump this off to Dallas Goedert in the flat, and you're playing for second and medium. Jalen's going to hold this ball a little bit. He starts to feel a little bit pressure. We'll go to the next shot here. He's starting to feel a little bit pressure. Khalil Mack's breathing down his throat. And you could see, all right, Cam Hart is probably cheating a little bit more to the flat here than he is to the corner. But again, that's where his length comes into play. It's going to take a good throw on the move with a defender bearing down. Again, running a concept that the other team knows you run a lot and you run often, and you've run it a lot in the last few weeks as well. And so let's go to the next shot. He tries to squeeze this in, and that's where the length comes into play. Cam Hart takes that window away. He knocks it up, and Jefferson's able to come down with the interception. So that's the tough part about it, guys, is that this is supposed to be like their easy button throw, right? Like outside of wide receiver screens on 3rd and long is like, oh, like we're going to throw the RPO on 1st and 2nd down and try and pick up easy yardage. This wasn't a straight drop back pass. This wasn't under center play action deep shot. Like this was supposed to be, all right, green light, positive, stay ahead of the sticks, and it ends up being the turnover that cost him the game.
Mechanically, on that play, the fact that he's like falling away and leaning back and sort of trusting his arm in that window feels like not what he would be coached to do there. Is that fair?
Yeah, my guess is that they're going to tell him you want that throw back. That would be my guess. Maybe it looks a little bit different through the all-22. And like I said, when you're looking at it from just from where I did that freeze frame, you kind of see like, all right, like as he's getting ready to throw the football, he's cheating a little bit more to the flat. But to your point, yeah, like he's falling away from the throw a little bit. He does have Khalil Mack in his face. I would guess that they're going to grade him on, and I'll be interested to look at the end zone angle of it. Grade him on the initial read. Like, all right, should this have been a give to Saquon Barkley here on this play? I will say the double team at the point of attack from, like I said, from Steen and from Juergens, those guys were like 5 yards downfield. There's an outside chance like a flag is thrown on that play if the ball's caught for those guys being illegal downfield as well, which would have been a whole different set of circumstances. So, just not great, Bob.
Well, the good news is Nick Sirianni just said on the podium that him, Kevin Patullo, and Jalen Hurts are going to be very critical of themselves. So we got that going for us.
Join the club.
You're critical of yourself?
Always. I mean, you have to. That's the only way to get better.
Of course. All right. How about the unprecedented in NFL history play in which Jalen commits 2 turnovers on the same play? This is, I feel like, exactly what you warned us about in the pregame show.
Yeah, when you get to 3rd down, this is where they can get a little bit funky with what they do. And it's not just like, they send a ton of pressure. It's going to be those sim pressures, those exchange pressures where they're going to show one thing, then they pull it back, they send guys from depth. And yeah, it's 3rd and 1, and that's exactly what they do on here on this play. Let's go to the first one. This is hand INT. It's a cool play from the Chargers. I like that. And we're going to look at it. Deshaun Hand is the one that's going to make the interception. He's a defensive tackle lined up over Landon Dickerson. Now, it's 3rd and 1 in the red zone. And the Eagles here on this play, they call a play that is pretty well known, a Haas Y juke. And this was like a New England Patriots, like Tom Brady staple in the middle of the field. It actually, the first touchdown pass Carson Wentz ever threw to Jordan Matthews, week 1, 2016 against the Cleveland Browns was on this play. Matthews is on the left side, and you could see. Let's go to the next shot because I drew up a couple of the routes. You're going to basically get mirrored routes on the outside where you've got slot fades from the 2 slot receivers, and then you've got hitches on the outside. And the hitches on the outside are basically meant to hold those cover 2 corners. And in an ideal world, you've got a wide receiver in Devontae Smith one-on-one with a safety at the top. And here you've got Jahan Dotson. Now, Dotson is interesting. He kind of like, I don't know if he's doing this to attack the leverage. He brings this route further inside than you normally would see on this play. But it doesn't matter because Jalen is looking at AJ. Now, AJ is running the juke route here on this play, which is essentially, it's not an option route, but you're essentially running like he's going to break down, he's going to sell like he's going to work one way, and then he's going to work back the other way. And this would be the Wes Welker route. Would be Aaron Hernandez. This would be, think back to like, and it's those guys that typically quick and shifty, get in and out of breaks. Like you want that athleticism, that quick separation ability. Love AJ Brown. That's not at the top of the list when you talk about like his strengths, right? Like this would be, in my opinion, switch Devontae and AJ here on this play. Right, like AJ Brown, you run the fade with, have Devontae work in the middle of the field against a safety or against a linebacker. It's a safety in this case because they're in their dime defense on third down. Now it doesn't matter because the Chargers dial up a perfect call to defend the juke route. Let's go to the next shot, and they're going to drop both of their defensive tackles into the short intermediate area, and obviously that's right into the window. Now, Troy Aikman said this is like, I don't know how he didn't see this. I'm not sure why Jalen didn't see this because both tackles drop into this window. But he's looking at AJ the entire way. I'm interested to see, because I wanted to be able to see like, all right, what exactly were the matchups? And since I couldn't quite see everybody, what is it that dictated to Jalen? Like, all right, I'm going to work the juke route. My guess is it's 3rd and 1. And it's like, all right, I'm not going to throw the fade here on 3rd and 1. But again, it's, AJ running that route. You have 2 defensive tackles dropping right into the window, and Jalen puts it right into the breadbasket of Deshaun Hand, and Hand returns it back. Right there you can see. Thank you, Lindsay. So he puts it right under Deshaun Hand, and this ends up being a turnover. The first time the Eagles don't score in a goal-to-go situation all season long.
You had to get that in there.
Not that anyone was tracking it.
Of course, you had to. Okay, let's at least break down the good play from the offense, which you called a bit of a trick play. Yeah, I think it was good coaching. First play of the 4th quarter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Short yardage, and they catch the Chargers off guard.
No question. They came out.
Too.
Yes.
This was one of the first times where we could say like, oh, like the fact that they came up with very little time left on the clock and like kind of hurried it up, they played to their advantage.
Right,
here.
they did this on purpose.
And let's go to the first shot here. It's Saquon 1. They come out in a tackle over set. And tackle over meaning that you've got a tackle from one side sent over to the other side of the formation to line up inside the other tackle. So Jordan Mailata is lined up essentially as a tight end here on this play. And then you've got Fred Johnson lined up inside. And that gives you a clear run strength that you're going to run behind on this play. If they had come out, typically, if they had come out, not hurried up here on this play, now the Chargers have time to react and, slide the front over and adjust the run fit. But because they ran up to the line and did this fast, that, you can catch them off guard a little bit. So nice job here from the Eagles where they line up in this way. Let's go to the next shot. And essentially what you're running here is you're going to pull Jordan Mailata out to that side, and you're going to have Dallas Goedert leading the way to take out the force player. He's going to kick out that corner on the outside there, and he does a nice job here on this play. You get a down block from Fred Johnson. You get both wide receivers, A.J. Brown and Darius Cooper, doing a nice job there as well. There's a little bit of miscommunication, but overall, they were able to tighten it up. They were able to get this clean, and you've got Saquon Barkley getting up to the next level. And let's go to the last one, and you get both receivers. And Cooper did the best job, I would say, from this group. But all of those guys did what they needed to do. But I would say the big thing here on this one was coming out in that tackle over set, running behind those guys. You definitely caught the Chargers off guard on that snap, and you're able to pay it off with an explosive play, the longest play of the day for either team, or no, for the Eagles there, 52-yarder there to score on the first play of the 4th quarter.
All right, so what's your level of confidence they can turn things around on offense, Fran?
Yeah. I mean, I was the highest on the panic meter a couple weeks ago, and they have done nothing in the last 2 weeks to get me off that. So time's ticking, like time's running out. Yeah, I mean, I'm at out of a scale of 1 to 10, like I'm at like a 9.5. Like I don't know that things are going to get fixed.
Okay,
Unfortunately.
but at least they have the defense and the defensive line, which was very good in this game. Any big takeaways from that side of the ball?
Yeah, I mean, when it looked like they were tracking to win this game, I was like, oh man, tomorrow I'm going to do all the sacks for the defense. You know, they sacked Herbert 7 or 8 times. I thought they did some cool stuff from like freeing up Nakobe Dean. That was one of the plays I ended up scrapping just because of the interception. But the sack fumble for Nakobe Dean, it was like the ISO ball, like in basketball, like where I spread the court and we're just going to get him one-on-one with the running back. It was perfectly done from a front standpoint. You put somebody right over the nose and you had him take away the center. You had the other guard occupied by the other defensive tackle, and you just shot Nakobe right through and said, yeah, your running back cannot block me one-on-one, and I'm going to show you once again. And so it was a great rep there from Nakobe, great scheming there from Fangio and from the defensive staff. They had another one where they had Bond creeping up on the one side and then sent Nakobe from the other and dropped Bond out. So some good creativity, but then also like good gap discipline. There was a couple sacks that went down to Jalix and to Nolan that were just like, hey, we're gonna flush Herbert up. We know that he's going to scramble, and he obviously he had made an impact with his legs today. But a couple of them where he was able to step into sacks from the defense as well. So just good examples of the overall gap discipline there from the defensive front.
Did you see anything on the final 2 Chargers drives where Herbert's legs all of a sudden start to become a big factor? Anything in particular he was getting Vic on? I know Jalen Phillips sort of read the handoff a few times.
Yeah, the one was a designed like zone read, the first one, and then the second one I'd have to go back and take a look at it. But yeah, there were a few where he just was. I mean, he's able to shake off contact and make plays, kind of like shaking off a would-be tackler, but then also like he's very decisive, and we talked about that. He's been one of the best, like on a pure EPA per scramble basis, like has been one of the best in the league this year. That's been one of the strengths of his game, and this one was an all-timer for him in that category.
Okay.
I definitely believe that. I like when the scrambles and the design keeps that he did keep it on the zone read. Fran, I feel like they ain't believing like oh, he got a broke hand, he ain't gonna pull it. But goddamn, he pulled it right a couple of seconds. Like, that was crazy. So,
yeah, I mean that's to me like
the way the D line was teeing off.
That's why I pulled up the next gen stats. Following up, Jamie, I know you said you saw the one where it was like the highest pressure rate like ever. It ended up being 68.3%, the highest pressure rate of any quarterback faced this season from next gen stats. So yeah, I mean they had him under constant duress. They got him down to the ground a handful of times, and some of them too were like a scramble for 1 yard, scramble for 2 yards, which essentially you're going to get as a sack as well. There was a couple incompletions that could have very easily been sacks. So. Yeah, defensively there was a lot to like, and offensively we're still trying to get off the ground and trying to find the identity here for that side of the ball.
Fran, why can't they get a damn play call in time?
Well, and that's one of the tricky parts too about if they changed the operation at all in the last 10 days. Like if they changed any of that, now you're essentially starting from ground zero, right? And so. That I'm sure is something that guys are being asked about right now. If there was, it sounds like Patullo was still the play caller, but if there was any kind of change, like in terms of it going from Sirianni to Patullo to Jalen, that adds another layer of complexity there.
Fran, as a follow-up to that, why the hell would you call a screen pass with 2:15 remaining in the game out of a timeout and essentially give the Chargers a free timeout?
I got nothing for you there, man. There were a handful of those where I was there was one in the first half where they were like speechless, literally like speechless. And then there was obviously, and you guys talked about it at halftime, but again, like there's you have 2 timeouts and you act like you have none with that play call for no reason whatsoever.
And what's crazy about that too is that they were originally going to send Elliott out with 7 seconds left to kick the field goal. You still had 2 timeouts. Go get 10 yards. Go get 15 yards. Go get 6 yards. Like, what are you doing?
And to your point, who knows?
Of
Like, if the
course.
kick is exactly the same, but like that kick's good from 38.
Yeah.
That kick's good from 40, from 43, right? Like, there was that close.
Yes.
Yeah, and it would have been nice. I'm sure if they said, hey, like, we're going to give you the ball at the at midfield with a chance to kick a 48-yard field goal. Do you guys want a chance at this? They would probably say, yeah, at the end of the game. It would be nice to have those 3 points.
Fran, are the Raiders at least a slump buster? Do we have something to look forward to?
I'm sure they're saying the same thing right now in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
they can't
Just a
take
couple weeks. Yeah, Fred, just a couple weeks ago, we were so excited about the Chip Kelly game coming back to the link.
know.
Chip Kelly get canned, and then we put up a performance like this. It's
Chip's
kind of
gonna have the
like,
last laugh.
damn.
All right, Fran,
This
you
is-
go ahead.
I was going to say this going into it feels like the 2023 for the Cardinals coming to the link.
Oh,
And
no.
John Gannon return.
Oh man,
Oh,
that's
no.
exactly right. It's like, okay, well, surely we will
but
we
this
will
is-
we
this
will
is the
wake
get right
up.
game.
We will come out of it. There's a really bad team coming here. There's even a little bit of a connection.
Yep.
You're absolutely right.
The defense was the problem then, right? And offense now. So they flip-flopped.
Oh man,
Cool.
how about them Cowboy?
That's your team. Your team since the preseason, Bo.
Oh man. All right, Fran. Well, you're gonna break it all down for us on the PHLY Eagles regular show tomorrow at 2:00. Hopefully, you get some sleep. We'll talk to you then. Thanks for joining us on Fran's Film Room, presented by Ashley.
All right,
Sounds good,
Fred.
guys. Talk to you later.
See you, Fran.
All right.
Little grabby grab Tuesday edition.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You get the snappy.
Can we get some
snaps in.
Monster Inc. grabby grabs?
That's up to Fran. All right, we're going to take a break, hear from some sponsors. On the other side, we'll get to Vinny's Beef of the Week. And then shortly after that, EJ Smith checks in from SoFi Stadium after what he describes as a dejected Eagles locker room. So the other day, I was over at the Positivity Bunny's house. He invited me over for the game, says he's a big fan. And it felt like I was fan-fished. First of all, he keeps asking me for carrots. I'm like, listen, I know that rabbits don't actually eat carrots. That's just a Bugs Bunny thing. Like, you're clearly not a real bunny. And he's like, oh, what's going on? Let's watch the game. But we couldn't watch the game. It was lagging, buffering, streaming issues. Unbelievable. Guy said he was a fan. I was like fan-fished. So he comes back over to my place, and we watch the game on Xfinity. Great streaming. It was the perfect fan flex. All the action right in my living room. Plus, Xfinity's best picture and sound with enhanced 4K, so clear it feels like you're in the stadium. And I had some lettuce ready for him because I know that's what bunnies actually eat. So next game day, make sure that big fan isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multiview requires Xfinity-capable 4K TV box.
Elkin Chevrolet. It's run by three brothers, real brothers, and huge Birds fans. And this holiday season, they're making sure you get a deal that will feel just as good as a Birds victory. They've got a huge inventory of Chevy trucks and SUVs, and there's no better time to grab one at a price that's not going to last. Whether it's getting to the game, to work, or just hitting the road for the holidays, you're going to roll into the new year in the perfect ride at the perfect price, which is the most important part of all of this. Elkin Chevrolet, real brothers, real deals, and a whole lot of honkin' good service. Elkin Chevrolet, right there on Route 73 in South Marlton, New Jersey. Or you can go peruse the selection right now and shop online at elkinchevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
Back on the PHLY Eagles post-game show, presented by Bet365 and Ashley. Let's check out the Super Chats as they continue to roll in. Davella says, turnovers in the game, including 2 on 1 play. Jalen Hurts is the biggest issue with the offense. Snap, snap, snap says, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Sirianni told me that everyone was playing with confidence and joy. The defense was.
Yeah.
Defense was playing with some fire.
Sirianni also dropped a Dennis Green tonight. When asked why he went for it, he said, you play to win the game.
When
Play to win the game.
In overtime, I guess, instead of being a little more conservative.
Yeah, I mean, that's a dumb question. Of course, they got to try to score a touchdown. You going to settle for a tie?
I guess they just meant the risky throw. I don't know. I only saw the ESPN tweet.
Yeah. JP Fabo. Jamie, please tell me we were going to be okay.
I got nothing.
Pat Phoenix. Jalen's throws themselves also just look bad. Inaccurate. Ball is wobbly. Barely any zip. The eye test is really awful.
There was a couple tonight. Like one was to Shipley out near the sideline. One to Goddard. They were just off. Like just bad.
Some bad throws. No doubt. I mean, he looked bad. He ripped off a couple nice ones. The throw to Devontae in overtime was really nice on 3rd and long.
AJ did take accountability for the 3 plays he said he wishes he could have back in the locker room. He did say the one in the end zone, the interception, and the first go ball early in the game.
Yeah.
He took accountability. Look, AJ, you can say what you want about him. He's been front and center and owning up. He's carried himself like a professional, and he's been right the whole time.
That's your guy, Vinny.
AJ is the man. Yo, Bo. AJ is the man. I mean,
he's doing
when
things.
when you look at this game, the man was always open. Like
now, we got to take a second here because I don't think we've talked about this on the postgame show at any point this season, Vinny. You got number 3 coming.
Oh yeah, yes.
Like days.
Yes. Number 3, be a dad for the 3rd time.
How you feeling?
Another little girl.
Christmas baby.
Yeah. I feel
It's gonna be awesome.
Listen, as long as she get here healthy,
We know it's a girl.
happy. No, it's a girl.
Okay, congratulations.
I appreciate it.
How's your wife feeling?
She's
Ready to have
over
a
it.
baby?
Yeah. She's definitely
I'm
ready.
like, Vinny, you get home from the studio. She's not sleeping right now.
She got any weird cravings going on? Any like late night ice cream or gummies?
You know what? Nah, she doesn't.
Nah?
She doesn't. My daughter is super excited.
Okay.
Oh, I bet.
Oh my
course.
God, she is super excited. My daughter does cheerleading, gymnastics, and
Yeah.
she's gonna be doing little tumble rolls. I said, okay, slow it down, Chloe. That's not pushing.
Not right away. Not right away.
Yeah.
Unless she might tumble right on out of there.
Yeah. And my kids are rough.
Maybe this baby's going to be the real thing to turn around the vibes.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe the baby will bring us luck.
Fresh
against-
start.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
All
the
right.
chat's happy for you. They said it's great to hear some good news tonight.
Yeah,
Good
appreciate
on Vinny.
chat. Appreciate it.
Carice. Love that. All right, more super chats. From Matthew Greenwood. Hurts was at his worst. Jake Elliott hurt us. 125 plus yards in drops. Took away a touchdown and added an interception. O-line was good in run blocking, but bad in pass pro. Yet this was our best play called game. Well described. Jody Foster. Oh, Jody. Thanks for watching.
Jody.
One of the many Hollywood stars that is always tuned in to the PHLY Eagles postgame show. How many inexcusable games is that by the offense this year? 5? 6? That's a good point.
All of them?
I mean, listen, the offense is one of the worst offenses in the league over the course of the season. It's in the bottom quartile of offenses. It's a bad offense.
One of the best rosters on offensively.
Yes.
That is crazy.
The most expensive offense.
It's inexcusable.
Right? Are they still the most expensive offense in the NFL?
I think that's right. Yeah.
That's not something Mr.
Not
Lurie's
ideal.
going to like? That's certainly spending the most and getting the worst results.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I would imagine Kevin Patullo, that seat is hot. Right or wrong, I mean, I think it's right. But right or wrong, I mean, it'll be a miracle if he survives this.
I don't think that Jeffrey Lurie will be happy. I don't think that's a stretch.
Yeah.
D. Mormack. Okay, we're doing a Peck Nest migrate. On Peck is plays, but not normal reps. Nest is normal reps, and migrate is inactive. If Lurie says your job is on the line unless you make the conference title game, Hurts, AJ, Juergens.
Migrate.
I think I
Juergens,
go.
huh?
I migrate Juergens and let Toth play center. I peck Jalen because that means that if he can't play the whole game. You have McKee as a backup, and then you need AJ because the wide receiver depth is that bad. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I think that's
If I
about right.
understand that correctly.
Jurgens has not been great this year.
I don't really want to read this, but I will. Fire Kevin Patullo 6969 with the super chat says, absolutely furious after almost every game this season. How do we boycott the offense? Maybe Lurie steps in it if it starts hitting his wallet.
I think they already hit the wallet, huh?
I think the that's already gone.
Yeah.
How would you boycott the offense? I think you could, if you could convince the entire stadium to just turn around in their seats.
I was going to say, you could do the Palestra, either turn your back to them, or you could do the newspaper in front of the face move.
It'd be tough to coerce 60,000+ to do that.
Y'all gotta be careful. This Philadelphia, you know they'll do something like that.
How about a moon? Bring back the moon.
You talking bare ass?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nowadays, I think they're getting locked up for that.
67,000 bare asses would certainly be a scene.
Yeah.
It's a good bit.
I feel like that's a good throwback.
Yeah.
Yeah. Riverma, which is a nice super chat. And Luisa Maria, would you play McKee to salvage a Super Bowl run? We did talk about that. I don't know. I mean, I think it's too much drama.
And I don't want to speak ill of your boy, Bo, but we've never seen Tanner McKee playing a meaningful football game.
Or under
That's
pressure.
not true. He played in one last year.
Or under pressure.
He played a game last year in a regular season. That was a real game that he played, and it looked awesome.
All right, fair.
I
One.
mean, they won. Yeah.
Who was it against?
Washington.
Was it Washington?
It was the Giants.
Was it the Giants? He didn't play in the Washington game?
He came in the Washington game,
Oh.
but then he played the next week against the Giants. Remember, AJ threw his touchdown ball into
Oh,
the
yeah.
stands. We had the guy on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, my man was in the street.
Yeah.
He better have subscribed. You better be in this super chat. We give you a lot of publicity there.
I mean, heavy action in the super chat today. We've got Tokagawa, who says, definitely not looking forward to the old Philly tradition of calling a black quarterback a dummy, but it's been a thing since the 80s.
Okay.
That's fair. I don't think anyone's calling Jalen. Well, I do think that there are people doing that. Here on the set, I don't think anyone's calling him a dummy. Just, he made some really bad decisions tonight. No doubt about it.
Just play better.
Mr. ROFL Knife says, this game made me pee my pants and throw up.
Nice.
At the same time?
Oh. That's a lot of
Information.
And yet, better than throwing 4 interceptions. Daniel Russell, tonight hurts, but I'd take a loss tonight every time for Vinny's Super Bowl in 2017 and our Super Bowl last year. How about that perspective?
I mean, it is very nice. In 2023, we were coming off of a Super Bowl loss, and it just felt like it's never going to happen again. We got our one. Thank you, Vinny. This, at least, you're coming off of a Super Bowl victory.
Well, I do think there's an important difference between, like, I think there is perspective in the fan base that
Sure.
we can't get that upset because we won the Super Bowl last year.
Absolutely.
Which is right and fair. It's just that, you know, the way that they're losing games, it's not, just some bad breaks, or they're not getting beat up with injuries and stuff like that. It's like process stuff that is wasting the talent that they have.
Dumb penalties.
And it is infuriating the way that they're losing these games.
Yeah. But I'm keeping my sanity because I was on Broad Street in February.
Sure.
Dude, we trying to go back to back.
All my life, all I've ever wanted, once 08 happened, I was like, can I just get one dynasty? Just like one mini dynasty? And the Eagles are like, they're teetering with it. They're kind of like a cat, like, 3 Super Bowls in 7 years. I'm like, oh, you're so close. It's just never going to happen here.
That does sound incredibly privileged.
Yeah.
Think about
I just
how
wanted
you would
one
have felt about
dynasty.
that in 2016.
Oh.
Hearing yourself being like, all I really want is a dynasty. When, of course, you would have given a toe to win one.
Absolutely. Yeah. I had convinced myself in like mid 2015. I was like, well, we're never going to see a Super Bowl in this town. And here I am talking about dynasty. So I guess we got it pretty good.
Thank you, Vinny.
Well.
I think "you're welcome" is the words you're looking for.
Well, that and let's be honest. We just talking about having the most expensive offense in football. So
Yeah.
we would like to see back to back.
Yeah. Because I legit thought that this was different. Like, they had a chance. They came out strong. You got through the hardest part of your schedule.
Convincingly, though.
Yeah, with a great record. And I was like, all right, this is it. And then the wheels fell off. And it's like,
It's not good.
I don't think the wheels are going back on.
No.
We're Fred Flintstone in this.
Daniel Russell. No, we already got that one. CDP. What are the worst lessons the Eagles coaches can learn from tonight's loss?
Ugh.
That's a good question. Listen, it's a couple different lessons.
Worst? Yeah. Just don't throw the ball at all, probably. Turtle even more. But Devin Stepp, I want to say this has to be a breaking point, but we keep seeing a different thing be why the offense is broken. Who am I supposed to be mad at?
It's a good point.
Fair question. I do think this week is going to be
Jalen.
like, yeah, it goes from people liking Kevin Patullo's house to people calling for Jalen's job.
Damn, the job?
Yeah, I mean,
That's going to be some
in
discourse.
a throaty, like, I'm just yelling at the clouds kind of way. But
So I guess he don't get the same break as being on Broad Street and being the MVP.
No.
Damn.
that's the thing. He's allowed. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Josh Allen. He's not one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Everybody else is going to have ups and downs, and it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster. We have seen the highs be good enough that it is worth living through the lows.
Absolutely. And this is a weird year where, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes aren't even going to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a weird year.
The problem is, I think that there probably are some people in the building who do want to see what the offense would look like with a different quarterback.
I would think so.
Yeah.
And there's probably some people in the building that want to see the offense with a different offensive philosophy.
Yeah.
But do you make these moves hastily? No, these are not
That's
moves
right.
you make hastily.
Steve Clef, no answers in 23, no answers now. Sure, the coach and GM could hire a new OC, but should they stop there?
I mean, I think it's just going to come down to Nick Sirianni. They're going to say, hey, Nick, Patullo's got to get. This is like where the 23, like the Doug and Nick thing is interesting, because Doug was at a point where he was like, I'm not getting rid of Mike Rowe. That's my guy. And they were like, well, you got to get rid of Mike Rowe or you're gone too. He's like, all right, I guess I'm gone. Nick, if they say, hey, you got to get rid of Patullo, he's going to be like, all right, see you, Kev.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just guessing. I don't know that, but I would imagine he's gonna sell Kev down the river real quick to save his job.
Harry Mama says the team is broken. Any way to come back?
No.
Vinny, you've seen teams rise from the ashes.
Yeah, I have. In almost times like this. But
The cream will rise.
to the top, like Macho Man Randy Savage says. But this team here, all it takes is a convincing win. A convincing win that we all happy. We all talking about it all like this. It's just that, man, we really wanted that bye.
Had they scored a
Kiss the
touchdown,
bye.
and won tonight, do you think they're back?
Man, we'd have been in here like, say, wow, they've been going crazy. It's a whole different narrative. If, yeah. What will be saying? It showed guts. They fought to the end. They pulled it out.
When it matters most, Jalen comes up big.
You would have made the goat sound. Bah, bah. You know, there's been a lot of that, but
Will Madden, what happened to this team after the bye? Good question. They have been terrible since the bye. And he says, consistently lose Lane Johnson to injury. Howie, not enough line investing. I think that is a real issue with the team. I think that is a good point.
And the Lane Johnson with and without stat grows
Yeah.
in lore again. 3 in a row without Lane.
Yeah.
Just padding those stats. I really hope that's my buddy Dave Madden's 12-year-old son, Owen, just like racking up his parents' super
All
chat
right, love
charges.
that. Yeah.
That would be great.
Owen better be in the bed. It's 102.
I would think so.
Tokugawa, at least we're not the Chiefs. And junior player says Lurie meets with Nick every postgame, right? Yes, that's true. They have a quick postgame meeting, and then they meet during the week, is what our understanding is. All right. Before we go to break and hear from EJ Smith, we have to quickly do Vinny's Righteous Felon Beef of the Week. A lot of people to choose from. Defensive line was awesome in this game, Vinny. You've got Jalix Hunt with 2.5 sacks. You've got Zach Bond with a half a sack, Nakobe Dean with a sack and a forced fumble, Jordan Davis with a sack and a half, Adoree Jackson with a pick, Brandon Graham getting a lot of snaps inside, Jalen Phillips with a nice play, helped force that interception. Where are you going?
Can I give it to the defensive line?
All of them?
Listen, I mean,
it's a lot of beef.
Just check me out. Well, Byron Young had 1.5. Jordan Davis.
Yeah. Byron Young had 1.5. You're right.
Yeah, Jordan Davis 1.5. Jalix 2.5.
Yeah.
Forced fumble. Nolan Smith with a clutch play. You
want to go all of them?
Now, go on. There's pause, but there's a lot of beef going around. You know?
A lot of beef. It's a lot of OG Hickory sticks.
Okay.
Listen. So
and without Jalen Carter.
Defenses are flying around. So my beef for the week goes to the Eagles defensive line. You guys are flying around, showing nothing but effort all night. Hats off to you guys. Congratulations.
Sorry, Righteous Felon. You got to send a lot
of beef.
Down to the NovaCare Center this week.
Good for Jordan Davis. All right, let's take our quick break here. Last one, and then on the other side, we go to SoFi Stadium to hear from Mr. Hollywood himself, EJ Smith. Let's talk about dreams. What kind of dreams did you have when you were a kid? Me, I wanted to be a professional baseball player. What about you? What about now? What kind of dreams do you have? I would like to sleep more. Or maybe start a business. That's where Shopify comes in, because Shopify is the e-commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. Shopify even powers the PHLY merch store. You see those sick hats we got, by the way? Check those out. Shopify has got you covered with website creation, product descriptions, email and social media marketing, and more. They also have AI tools designed to help you maximize sales. If you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into a cha-ching with Shopify on your side. Sign up with your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/allcity. That's shopify.com/allcity.
Fall is here, and with that comes some colder nights, heartier meals, and that craving for something warm and satisfying. So take your head out of it and just go to HelloFresh, because they're bringing you comforting, chef-designed recipes and fresh seasonal ingredients right to your door. This season, they've taken things to the next level with their biggest menu refresh yet. Say hello to a whole new way to do dinner. I had some come to the house recently. Hello! And right now, the best way to cook just got better. Go to HelloFresh.com/Eagles10FM now to get 10 free meals and a free item for life. 1 per box with active subscription. Free meals applied to the discount on your first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. That's HelloFresh.com/Eagles10FM to get 10 free meals and a free item for life. HelloFresh.
We are back on the PHLY Eagles postgame show, and it's time to head to the Xfinity Mobile call-in line and welcome in our Eagles insider, looking fly, very Hollywood, EJ Smith. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. I just left a relatively somber locker room, I would say. So yeah, I'm excited to get through some of these notes. I don't know if we want to throw it to EJ's notebook, but I do have a couple of things I want to rattle off here.
EJ coming in hot.
Flash that bad boy up.
All right, so for starters, like I said, it was a dejected Eagles locker room, understandably, after this loss to the Chargers. I noticed that Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith both sitting at their locker stalls, which were next to each other, well after we got in there, and really just kind of unpacking the loss. Well, the thing I noticed, the visual that I think will last the longest from this locker room was Jalen Hurts with a wry smile when Eagles wide receivers coach Aaron Moorhead came to check on him. I think he kind of knew, well, listen, I mean, Jalen knew he didn't play well. So definitely the visual that will stick with me is Jalen's reaction to this game. The newsiest part from the post-game locker room was Nick Sirianni's press conference. He said they're going to stay the course. You know, when he was asked about potential personnel changes or changes on the coaching staff, Nick acknowledged that he took more of a hands-on role with the offense this week, but said that they've got confidence in the group and that they will not make any changes moving forward. And then, yeah, Jalen Hurts taking accountability was what I just heard before I came and joined you guys. Jalen talked about the turnovers, but the thing that stood out to me was he really took it to heart that he had an opportunity to win the game, first and foremost, in this overtime period. And the fact that he didn't come away with the win in that moment, I think really weighed heavily on him in his post-game press conference. So excited to talk about these with you guys. But yeah, those are the three big things from the post-game locker room access.
So let's start with the end there, EJ. And as you say, he had a chance to win there. What was it? I mean, is it just the decision to throw that ball? What was hanging on to him as far as you could tell?
You know, there weren't many specifics from Jalen about, you know, what about his performance he wasn't happy with. It was definitely more just the general, like he kept generalizing. When asked about turnovers or any specific play, he just kept talking about the fact that he had the opportunity to win the game and he came up short in that moment. And, you know, I think that we hear Jalen be very singularly focused on the win and loss column. And I think this was an example where obviously, you know, he cares about the turnovers, but it definitely seemed like he steered almost every discussion he had back to the fact that he didn't do enough to win them the game, you know, because even with the turnovers in regulation, I think he felt like that last drive is where he's supposed to will his team to a victory, and he wasn't able to do that. Again, I think that really weighed heavily on him from what we heard from him.
Well, here's the thing, because I think part of the reason behind that smile from Jalen is that he knows what's coming now. And I know that he doesn't always pay too much attention to what goes on outside the building and what the narrative is. But he's going to be the one who's blamed for this game, and fairly so. He had 5 turnovers, even if you want to just say 4 interceptions. And they win the game probably if he only has 3, right? And we also know that there has been the reporting all season long about some kind of disconnect between Jalen and some parts of the locker room. And so as you talk to guys in the locker room, was there any semblance of shaking their head a little bit at the quarterback?
You know, not while we were in there. I definitely don't want to discount that sentiment is existent, you know, especially in the building. But, you know, Saquon Barkley was asked about Jalen Hurts and said that he's got confidence in Jalen. A.J. Brown, I wasn't in A.J. Brown's scrum, but I talked to some people who sounded like A.J. really was harping on 3 plays he would have liked to have back. Again, I didn't hear from him, but I think we can surmise which 3 he's referencing. It was the drop in the first half, the drop on the final drive, and then obviously the drop that led to the interception. I'm curious what you guys thought about the drop that led to the interception, but just you know, buttoning up what we're talking about here. I think that sentiment is real. You know, but it isn't. It wasn't something that we heard much about in the post-game locker room, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got to catch that ball. It's a tough throw. And he's going to get hit, but he's got to catch it.
Yeah, I sort of erred on the side of like that's a hospital ball. I agree. Like the way that what ended up happening does fall. He has to take accountability for that. But I also do think it's a really tough position to put your receiver in the middle of the field like that.
Yeah, I don't think that's unfair. Okay, how about the as you described, the locker room being dejected? You have come on here after other losses this season and said it actually didn't feel like they were too upset, and you know they knew that there were a couple of things to get tweaked. Why do you feel like this one is different?
You know, I think it really was the main characters in the locker room that made me feel like it was a dejected locker room. And listen, the way they lost was brutal, and in a way where you have to process that in real time. We actually got into the locker room a little bit more quickly, it seemed like, today than in weeks past where it feels like it kind of drags out. Now, that's not to say that, like, you know, it was, you know, like you couldn't hear a pin drop in the locker room, anything like that. There was definitely still laughter, still guys, you know, who were maybe, you know, who were in good enough moods to joke around afterwards. So I'm not saying it was like, you know, the most, you know, I mean, listen, like I've been in some despondent locker rooms before. I wouldn't characterize it like that, but I do think dejected is a fair way to characterize it. You could see the impact of the loss on guys like Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley spoke right away for a long time, ended up having like 2 different media sessions. So yeah, I definitely think these guys wanted to kind of, go through this game and sort of process it in real time. But yeah, again, I've definitely been in quieter locker rooms if that, helps contextualize it at all.
Did the bunny come up?
The bunny did not come up. I did ask Saquon Barkley about the energy on the sideline, and he said that he thought it was better. He didn't think that was a contributing factor for the way that the offense played. Another locker room note I had for you guys is, again, like A.J. Brown, I think he really did. You could tell that the loss really weighed heavily on him. And Howie Roseman, as A.J. is walking out, Howie catches up to him and puts his arm around A.J. So, definitely.
That's interesting.
I would say like these guys. Yeah, I would say these guys are definitely like a lot of like forward focus. A lot of talking about. Saquon said, that everything they want is still in front of them. But also, I think that there is an urgency that you can feel, and it's understandable. The offense has really. I mean, I said it on the pregame show. It's like this was probably the offense's best chance to get this thing back on track. And for them to play the way they did against the Chargers tonight, it's concerning. And I think that it's starting to seep in for sure.
Would you guys like to play Guess That Line for next week with me, courtesy of our friends at Bet365?
I'm going to say 7.5.
I'm going to say 5.5.
You're all way off. Vinny, you got a guess?
I'm gonna go with 7.5.
11.5.
Oh wow.
Gino's hurt, right? That's the problem.
It's Kenny Pickett.
It's Kenny Pickett.
Doll Hands is coming in.
That's the tricky thing. It's like they could play well for the next couple of weeks, but I think this is still just going to linger. Like beating up on bad teams to end the season. I don't know.
I mean, I guess the Bills, you have a chance again. That defense is trash, but the offense is going to give the defense a test.
Yeah, and if you want to, I don't think this team is capable of winning 4 in a row. I don't.
No.
But if you tell me that they win 4 in a row, yeah, I think they should feel great. I think that would be totally fine. That would turn things around.
I think they win 3 of the next 4.
I'm
I
with
think
you.
that they go into the playoffs with legitimate questions. I mean, I wrote it in the instant observations. I think this team has one way to win right now, and it is the way that they would have won this game had they not turned it over in overtime, which is to say that they're going to have really long stretches on offense where it just doesn't look very good, where it looks like disjointed and arrhythmic and all the words that we've been using to describe the Eagles offense all season. I think the defense is good enough to keep them in games. I think the defense is good enough to control games. And it's a tight needle to thread. It's tough. You're not going to win, as many games as the Eagles are used to winning playing that way. But I also think that it's a formula that they have to stick to at this point. They've tried so many different things on offense. They've tried so many different approaches. The empty formations tonight with the pre-snap motion, and it feels like that it's again if they were going to figure it out, I think they probably would have figured it out by now. I think this has got to be a defense first type of team, and they have to just kind of work around it from there.
I think that's fair, but I do we have seen great teams be fully defense first, right? And you protect the offense. It's hard to imagine a team that is built like that while having the talent that this team has on offense, right? Like, it's not like they've got rookie Ben Roethlisberger out there and, no wide receivers. They've got some of the highest paid players at every position. And I know that that's who they are right now, but I feel like in terms of like the locker room balance, it's very hard to get behind that being a sustainable thing down the stretch. And Vinny, I asked you about this. How do you guard against the defense feeling some kind of way about the offense? Did you talk to guys in the locker room on the defensive side of the ball, EJ?
Yeah, we heard from Jalix Hunt, who I thought he very pointedly said that they scored more points than we did, and that's as simple as it gets. It isn't a matter of the offense needs to score this. He said the fact that we let the Chargers score as many points as we did. That's all we care about. So again, I think these guys are going to say the right things, but I also did find that to be, an important thing to hear from, especially a young defensive player who, obviously you expect BG to come out and say the right stuff. But yeah, he made a big point about the fact that the defense took ownership of this loss as well. We look at the way that they played and, look at the situations that they were put in. It's hard to put much blame at their feet, but still, I do think that those guys don't look at it quite that way. At the very least, they don't acknowledge that they might look at it that way.
And they've also got to deal with, as you have pointed out, Vinny, another 71 defensive snaps in this game.
Oof.
Those guys are playing a lot of snaps.
71.
That matters.
What's up, Vinny?
That matters.
Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing it. I've been hearing about it. It is, especially those first half snaps against the Bears. You heard a lot about how that kind of just took it out of that group. I thought for as worrying as the Eagles offense looked, I thought the defense looked fortified by this extended break, and it makes sense because of how much they're playing. But now you're right back on the hamster wheel, right? You're right back into this situation where you're playing a lot of snaps. So
And another short week.
It's crazy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, listen. If we're comparing this to last year, with a defensive performance like this tonight, the defense would have won the turnover battle last year.
Yeah.
That would have gave our offense a couple more opportunities, to do something. So I think that's what Jalen was trying to say, that when they score more points than us, but now we just got to try to find a way to try to put this whole thing together, have a performance like this, take the ball away, and give the offense more opportunity and not turn the ball over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found it interesting, guys, that Nick Sirianni, he took some positives from this offensive performance and basically said they moved the ball well, they just didn't finish because of the turnovers. I was curious what you guys think about that answer. It's like sometimes. Go ahead.
I think he's talking, especially on that Saquon run. You could feel the juice through the TV copy, how everybody was so excited for Saquon and the whole team as in general, just to see him, getting back on track.
It's hard to.
Yeah.
I could see if he was going to say that if those turnovers came all of them came at the end of drives. I mean, one of them comes 2 plays into a drive. Another one comes 2 plays into a drive. There were a couple other 3 and outs. Part of the reason that the defense had to play 71 snaps is because the Eagles' offense didn't carry their end of the weight.
Jalen Hurts had 3 turnovers in 4 plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at one point in the press
That laugh there.
box, someone was like, "There's been 4 turnovers in the last 10 plays," or something like that.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah. It was a weird game, but yeah, you expect the Eagles, what we've seen from them the last few years, you expect them to at some point just go, all right, enough of this. We're better than you, and we're just going to impose our will. And they just have not been that team this year. And yeah, it stands out in games like this. And Nick Sirianni said that they're uncharacteristic turnovers, and I understand that the Eagles have had more turnovers the last couple of weeks. So is it an uncharacteristic thing? For me, Jalen Hurts, the throws that we saw him make today for those interceptions, I do kind of think those are uncharacteristic from him.
I agree.
He said he didn't. He kind of refuted the idea that he might have been pressing in this game, but I think it is probably more of symptomatic of the fact that this passing game has just lacked rhythm all season. It has just been so disjointed and so kind of. It's been consistent in the route concepts, but kind of inconsistent in the approach and how they want to go about doing things offensively. And, we saw glimpses of it. You go back to the Cowboys game, those first 3 drives, what it can look like when Jalen Hurts is comfortable and in sync. You saw what it looked like at the end of the game, that tight window throw he made where it's kind of his back is against the wall, but it's just so few and far between because of how they operate on offense. So, I do think that the turnovers are uncharacteristic, but I think they probably are symptomatic of where they're at offensively right now and how, just dire things have gotten.
All right, EJ, what are we going to be reading on allphly.com for the diehards, the smart people out there?
Yes, I agree. The smart people out there. You're going to be reading about, I feel like I always say it. You're going to be reading about the offense, what the leaders of this team have talked about, and really the response. They talk so much about the response that they wanted to have to this 2-game losing streak and kind of where do they go from here. So I'm going to be writing a lot about that. I'm going to have to do it probably at the airport, on the tarmac. We'll see if I have a skinny middle seatmate so I can kind of spread out and type in the back of the plane. So, it's gonna be a labor of love getting this story up onto the website. So I hope people enjoy it.
Are you red-eyeing it? I take it.
Yeah, I'm taking the red eye. So the overtime was not my favorite thing. I was kind of hoping that they would finish this one in regulation, but I got time. I got enough time to get to the airport here.
Well, we got BG coming in for the unblocked recording right after he lands tomorrow morning. So cry me a river.
Yeah, well, no, I wasn't crying. I said I was excited. It's like I said, it's a labor of love. I'm a football guy. I got to be tough. Not digging ditches. That's what our friend says. Yes.
All right, EJ. Thank you very much. Good luck writing tonight. We will talk to you later this week on the PHLY Eagles show at 2:00.
All right,
guys. Talk soon.
See you, Jay.
A couple super chats in under the gun here before we get going from our friend Colin Kane, who says the positivity rabbit must have rummaged through Nick's flower bed.
I am curious what they do with it. It's got to go, right?
I think it's probably gone. Yeah.
Okay. If that's,
I think the whole thing is overblown because it's just AJ Dillon going rogue and bringing it in. Like,
dude, I'm not a fan of the rabbit. I'm not a fan of the rabbit.
Tell me about the rabbit.
I'm just not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of the rabbit. I'm not a fan of the rabbit.
Well,
tell me more. You feel some kind of way about this. I want to know.
Do you think we would let that happen?
Well, here's where everybody takes.
Why does AJ Dillon have the agency here? He doesn't even play.
Because one of the vets could have been like, "Yo, that the media is about to come in. That's not staying up. Like, take that down."
Especially everything that's like keep the main thing the main thing.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Goddamn rabbit.
I like to clip that, actually. I'd like to clip goddamn rabbit from Vinny.
But right, like once the media comes in, that's a story.
AJ Dillon is trying to save his job. This is the only thing he can come up with.
I can't believe he's still here.
He's a good player.
But they don't even. He's not even active for weeks.
I get his message.
Is there a different animal he would have
I think no. I get his message though. I do get his message.
But is he the one to be delivering it?
But the rabbit looks soft.
The rabbit does look soft.
This rabbit looks soft, man. Like y'all, that shit, like it got no. It says,
I agree with that.
The rabbit looks soft, bro. That's all I'm gonna say.
Here's the thing that I have been kicking around. I think there are some guys in the locker room who feel like this is the normal course of an NFL season. Wins and losses. AJ Dillon's been on a lot of teams that were good, not great, right? The standards are higher than this team just sort of coasting along and being 8-4. This is a team that should have Super Bowl sights. They're not going to the Super Bowl right now. I mean, not the way that they're playing. But to be like, oh, you guys are making too much of this. We're fine. We're going to be okay. From a guy who hasn't been here, it's a little bit weak to me.
Bro,
it's a lot of bit weak.
Bro.
Like, what do you think Jalen Hurts thinks? This guy with the super high standards when he walks into the locker room and sees that thing.
I'll tell you what he said. Who put the rabbit right there?
Right.
We
got some clowns.
Who put that rabbit in there? Like they did the rabbit, and the rabbit don't even got a Jordan logo, so I know he didn't approve of that. Goddamn rabbit.
I like this. This is the most fired up you've been, I feel.
No, I just listen, I get the message, but that particular rabbit just doesn't match the season.
You need a rabbit with some teeth.
Something.
An Easter rabbit. Like, what?
Put a Pooh Shiesty mask on the damn rabbit or something.
But like, there's something to it. Look, their wins and losses are not due to an inflatable rabbit in the locker room.
Right.
But you do have to realize that, look, if they won tonight, then it's like, yeah, positivity rabbit, we're all in.
But I also think he was trying to lighten up the locker room.
Sure.
With the rabbit. So maybe I'm gonna take it. I'm not gonna just all the way completely diss the rabbit. Maybe he was trying to lighten up the locker room.
I think that was the goal, yeah.
But
It was well intentioned.
Yeah, the rabbit should have stayed there for a couple hours. That's all I'm saying.
Somebody's got to take a damn butcher knife to that rabbit.
John Malkovich. Take that thing down.
A little Lenny of Mice and Men action.
Joseph Lynch. Robin Hood and Maid Marian are planning a getaway. Robin wants to go to Sherwood Forest, but Marian wants someplace fancier. Robin hears her plan and shouts, "Oh, Marian, the Hamptons." A Marian Hampton joke.
Didn't see that coming.
At 1:27 in the morning. Is that a Lynch related to you?
I don't know if we can claim that one.
Okay.
It wasn't bad. I'll claim him. It's 1:30 in the morning. What the hell?
Okay.
But no, not that I'm aware of.
And then finally, junior player. Did EJ and Zach Bond visit the Intimate Dome? Good question. I don't know. I think EJ got in last night and was not able to haul in a Clippers game. But
back to the Lynch thing. I did have an uncle just pass, and
sorry,
R.I.P. Uncle John. But we did dive into the family tree. Me and my cousin over bourbons one night. Amazing how many family members you can lose track of. So there are a lot of Lynches out there that we don't know.
Sure.
So maybe he's one of us.
There you go.
Never know.
Okay. Well, I guess that'll do it for the PHLY Eagles postgame show. The Eagles lose their third straight game and fall to 8-5. Still just a game and a half up on the Dallas Cowboys with 4 games remaining. The Las Vegas Raiders come to town next Sunday at the Link. We will be with you to cover it, although I would say hopefully not with you, Vinny. I feel like
you might need a game.
Some time with a little one.
We'll see.
We'll see in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
All right. For Vinny Curry and Jamie Lynch and EJ Smith and Fran Duffy and Lindsay behind the scenes, thanks for watching, everybody. We will be with you tomorrow at 2 o'clock for the PHLY Eagles show. Fran breaking it down. Much more to come this week. We'll talk to you later. And as always, we love you.
Kill the rabbit.
We all silly like the mail.